Welcome to this episode of Calls and Actions, Trade with a Higher Probability of Success. We're going to look at some progress and reviews on some already triggered alerts from the STS pivot system charting package brought to you by swingtradersetups.com. Each video will be looking at some charts that had the trigger prices right on the charts. Could have been day trades, some of them will be swing trades many days into the progress. Others may be ready to reverse or re-entry into the trend that's already prevailing. This video has been brought to you by Swing Trader Setups STS Pivot System Charting Package, where we offer a 7-day free trial offer, 10-day money-back guarantee. We have your trigger prices right on the chart before they trigger. Sometimes, depending on the factor you're using, if you're looking at this for swing trading versus day trading, you may get this alert on the chart 10 minutes before the trigger or an hour and 10 minutes before the trigger. If it's a swing trade setup, it may be 3 days away. You have plenty of time to study the chart, look at the support, resistance, other inflection areas, look at option setups and so forth, and plan your trade. You're going to be looking at a lot of charts that came off our STS Pivot System charting package. It's a 7-day trial offer, money back guarantee. Trigger prices right on the charts, day traders, swing traders, and option traders. Easy to follow charts. We got the scanners pre-built. All you have to do is load in your symbols. We teach you how to do that. We teach you what to expect the chart to do as it comes down through the lines, and then revisit and trigger the sell. And the price is right on the chart. Trigger prices on your charts, pre-built scanner, 7-day money back guarantee. This video we're going straight into the charting package. Didn't spend a lot of time sending a lot of tweets out today, intraday, on movements. It was a real choppy day, so we're just going to go in and take a look at some charts that did make some nice moves today and would have been alerts on your system had you been using our charting package. This is PXD. I've got two side-by-side longer term. I got a 100 factor and a 50 factor. Of course, we could go down to 25 if we wanted to, and see that it also broke up the day before and had a pretty nice run this morning. But I like to look at the bigger picture as much as possible, and this triggered long right on the chart, 168.50 yesterday afternoon, and then just continued on up this morning on PXD. Came out at the open. This is your 930 area around 170. Went straight up really fast till about 10:15. Real nice continuation move on that stock. Spotify, I know, big interest in stock. It's been in play the last 2 days. This is late afternoon at about 12 o'clock. Actually, it broke down at 148.90. It's been chopping sideways for quite a bit, and when it broke down, this is not so much the trade we look for is this bounce right here. And you can watch this 5-minute chart down here below. We got these crosshairs running in sync, and I'll bring them in over here too. The movement we had here on your 5-minute chart below, you'll see that this ran right down into this closing price. On the 5-minute, the yellow line is the closing price. So as we sold off here, it went into the closing price, gave that bounce back into the VWAP. That's a little orange line, and this is what we try to teach. You can see that we've bounced into the VWAP, but we've also bounced right here. This is real key. We like to sell off, revisit our red zone, and then reject. So what's going on here, right on this chart right here, RZR, red zone retracement. It puts the price to the penny, but this retracement trigger, and in this case on a 50 algo, we're gonna take this down a minimum of $1 before we trigger that price off. So we're way up here in the 148.85. So you're gonna be in this area right here, coming back down to trigger the short off this chart. This is the setup we really love on any time frame chart, whether it be a 25, a 50, or 100. We like to get this sell off into the green zone. We come out of the green zone down into the short area, but we haven't triggered a short yet. You're gonna 90% of the time get this bounce. Now you can take a stock that just implodes. That don't mean that don't happen. What this does mean is when you get this set up, this is awesome, easy read setup. You get into the green zone or out of the green zone into the red zone below the green line without a short trigger being on the chart. Now here's the price. When this yellow is down, there is a box giving you a short call. Never triggers. And when it triggers, it immediately turns. This line goes red and is plotted on the chart with the price immediately to the penny. So when you get this drawdown and you didn't get the red zone alert, you didn't go deep enough to trigger it, and it was within $1 right here of triggering it. It bounces, goes back up here. This is the awesome setup. You can expect it. It's giving you the price. As this rises right here, it's telling you 1x, that's the green mark. Another $1 down in this algo takes this short. As it rises, we're at 145, say 146. We go all the way back to 149. That's a $4 bounce. As this rises every step of the way, our algo system is saying one retracement back down and we're going to red zone. So as it rises, each of these dollars, this short zone rises with it. It gets $1 higher, $1 higher, $1 higher. So right here it gives the trigger at 146.90 to the short side. This chart over here, I can get it back where I want it. It actually triggers a short at 147.90 right in here, real early. So you're taking this, you can take this short off this retracement and you can look over here and just see this setting up. You could actually step into this early because of the tie-in with the retracement here triggered back down, and you're anticipating this going down anyway. So you can actually step into this trade all the way up here on this trigger price, which is right on this chart, and it would be 147.90 is the number. So 147.90, this thing sells off all the way down to 142, and that happened at 215. 115, 13, 14, 115. That's your time right on the bottom area down here. So 115 is when this triggered. Short watch, it's already setting up here. You can almost anticipate what this is going to do if you're using our system. It's headed back down. So this is a monster trade setup right there. So what's in store tomorrow? Well, based on this chart, this can head back up a few more dollars. It's going to intersect with this as it falls and maybe give the exact same alert as you had over here on this other chart right here. Run up, reject. I can't tell you where they're going to intersect at. I can tell you pretty close. 144 in the 146 area. These two lines are going to collide. I'm going to release this. It's making it really hard to maneuver these around. I will leave the 5 tied in with this upper chart. This is FLY yesterday was approaching this level here. This morning, in the first few minutes, gapped up. This was at 9:30, all the way up here. We anticipate when we're above the red line a pullback. And then watch your 5-minute down here pull right back to those previous highs, yesterday's highs that actually went back into the past. And when it came right back up, the trigger back up would have been a 50-cent rise roughly, takes you into the open price. That's this blue line down here on this left lower chart. That's the open, comes back up through the open and accelerates on up for a pretty nice run. And it did trigger the long on the way up. Now, that's the bigger trend chart. This is the smaller trend chart that at the same time this was pulling back at 10:14. That's right in here. As this started back up, the shorter time frame triggered a green alert right here about 78.11 and then headed on up. 77.82 actually is where it triggered down below as it came back up, following the bigger trend. And it just gave a really nice move there, a couple of dollars up, slight pullback, and continued on up. Now it's sitting on the line. Well, this looks like it could roll over. It's not giving a box in the bottom. When we don't have a yellow or green line in the lower area that's got a box over here saying short watch, we generally get a good bounce right here. This can signify a bigger pullback over here, so I'm not sure. And then also watching the market after hours, this may well, anything you see on here may be totally negated by the overall market condition. We had a huge sell-off in the futures, so don't take anything you see here for tomorrow as anything that might not go the other way. The market may prevail. This was Goldman Sachs on the 50. That's this chart over here. Gave a really nice run. Broke out, as we show on the charts, till it goes back red. This breakout shows on the chart. So 11:20, Goldman gave a breakout at 247. Even with the choppiness of the market, this stock continued to rally. This was yesterday, actually. This broke out yesterday, rallied on up. This is today, this morning, just continued on up. Gave the one pullback in the choppy market today. Overall, this broke out yesterday and all the way up here today. It's got an $8 profit from that breakout yesterday. That's how you can swing trade or option trade using our system and follow the trend that you make your trade on. Especially if you're option trading, try to stay with that. Now, if you hit a high up here and you run into an old high on the chart, some inflection point, and you want to exit early, that's all the more better, because you can figure from here you're probably going to pull back to here. And you can see on this 50-factor chart that is ended up being about 4 or 5 factors, which is $2.50. So there's a point you want to take your profits, of course. Now, the bigger picture, what did this do today? This is a short picture actually. It's where it ran up, pulled back, chopped around all afternoon from about 1:15 on. The bigger picture is this is still straight up. The market pulled back really hard after hours. If we bounce tomorrow, you may find this stock running into this line, which might be in the $252 area, maybe something like that, 250, 250. And if the market heads up, if this gaps down right to this line, and then we get a market gap down and run up, this could be a significant area to be watching on this stock as well tomorrow. PANW, it's going to take it a second to load. The bigger the factor, the longer it takes to load. This triggered on April the 3rd, so this is the third day on this run at 180. It's all the way up to 196. That's a $16 run in 3 days. Do you think you can swing trade that? Right on our charts, prior to, from right this point on, where you see this little yellow line right here, we started giving you a trigger price right on the left side of this chart. Stayed there as it pulled back. It changed itself and gave you this trigger price in the box prior to the trigger. You were looking at this at 11 o'clock on this low right here, 11:06 a.m. on the 2nd. You're looking right here at 12:48 on the 2nd. And then that's about where it stopped for the day. There's your trigger. The next day it took off on the 3rd, gave you a pullback on the morning of the 4th. Retracement alert, we put right on the chart where to take that trade. Now that's a $2 bounce before we alert that. But it's right here. You can tie it in with other things that are going on. You can take this the 2nd day into the trade. This is a huge setup. It's pulling back. It didn't give the 2X at the time. It gave the 2X box for a short watch after it bounced $2, saying if it headed back down it was going to take it short. It didn't head back down. So at the time you pull back to here, you had no box signaling a short, and it indeed, that's about a 85%. When we pull back and we don't have the box in the corner, we're expecting that bounce. Huge run from there. So that's the entry around 183. If you took it the 2nd day, all the way to $195 at the end of the day. Actually went higher than that, 196.40. So over here is where it's telling you $11 run from here. That's what this math is on. We don't even have the 100 on here. The 100 triggered at 180. So that's a $16 run on the bigger time frame. ITW we had on long watch yesterday. This is 607 from this trigger. I like to be above the line, so I don't rush into these that are down here. This stock had this 2-day run. This is from the 4th. Gave this trigger, and I didn't go up that much today because the market was so choppy, and it's heading on back down. I also triggered here on the 4th. Probably going to pull back if the market gets too wicked. May not can hold. We'll just have to see what happens with that. Tesla, this has been a monster. It triggered. I don't even think I got it going back far enough right here. I'm making load in some extra bars where you can get a look at this. We did tweet this out today actually. $262 is the trigger on the 4th. 305. It's a $45 run. Never fell the line on the big trend here. Got a little worried right here. Actually, this is where I tweeted this out today when we had our 2X line on the line here, and we were deep in here. I was expecting this to go right back here and then reject, and actually put a tweet out for our traders that were in swing trades. If this triggered to the short side to protect those profits, and it ended up running on back up. The total trade on this from 262 to 305. That's over $40 run in 2 days. We're actually running this P&L off this smaller time frame chart. This is many days on this chart. I need to get rid of some of these bars. Everything's optimized on 100 bars. This just went straight up yesterday afternoon and just continued on up today. Hardly any gyrations in the bigger picture. This was actually yesterday, and then this was today. So yesterday it broke out on a smaller time frame chart at 138.52. It triggered here at 140 on the next level up. I would rather trade the smaller chart. You can basically draw you a trend line across here. This was yesterday's little move, and then today continued on up. Now you can see this box right here. This is actually running off of we got a 10 overlay, which is what we use for stops, and then we got the 25 overlay on here as well. That's this green line right here. Actually matches this chart right here on the 25 algo, and this box is representing what the 25 is showing right here, the same exact chart, 144.06. On the 25, it's just saying, hey, we run up here, pull back, hell, ran again, pull back, and right now it's saying if we print 144.06, this is going to turn red. This is the smallest algo that is on a stock like this. Is really just a minimal you want to use as a guide. The bigger chart is what counts. On a high ATR stock, it hasn't pulled back yet, but this could be the part of rollover, especially if the market's down tomorrow. This would be my stop on this stock if I was in a big option trade. RTN gave a little run today. It triggered off yesterday along at 213, ran up to about 219 here at the end of the day. We actually did an intraday trade on this stock as well today. This was yesterday. This went long at 213 on the shorter time frame. Actually got the same chart in the same places there. I was looking at the same chart on both areas. It was about the same area, just a few cents higher. This triggered off on the 100 and gave a pretty nice run overall today on the shorter time frame. It was real choppy, but it did give a pretty good little run in the morning, and then I actually traded this, and then it pulled back, and I was looking at the bigger thing going on over here, right in here where that pullback was at 945. You go over here on this chart, this is your actually 945 pullback right in here. Then later it went on up. This is where I look at. I want to get green before I get involved. Didn't go that far, but it gave about 80 or 90 cent little run. I was hoping it'd break out with the market. 90.31. Again, this is what we like. If we get the run up on the red, we want to pull back to the still red and then trigger the green. That's our favorite. If we get the trigger well above the green, we're looking for the pullback. We actually teach that if it gets 3 algos over, and this actually was at 90.81 and the line was at 88.84, so that was over 3 algos. It was almost 4 algos, and we do teach if it's out that far when it triggers, look for the pullback. So this was a perfect setup. It does go green well out over the lines. It turns back, gives a pullback, and that's from 90.72 down to 89.26. It's about $1.50. We teach it's going to pull back 3 to 4, sometimes 5 algos. That's about 3.5 algos back. It pulls back, holds the line perfect. We give you right here on the chart, green zone retracement alert, the exact price that you want to be watching this to re-trigger when it goes back up. And that price ended up being 90.31, which was the same price that triggered the original alert. And from there, 90.31 goes all the way to $97. Now this was the day before this triggered. This triggered off on the afternoon Wednesday, and then this just exploded this morning all the way up there, all before 10 o'clock. Now it's done this pullback. This starts to worry me, and the shorter time frame is just a chop all afternoon. This was the morning sell-off when this ran way up here. The shorter time frame came down, went back up, triggered a short right here, 96.44, all the way down to 94.25 for an intraday trade. And then once this went back green, the value's not plotted here anymore. So that's how you tie these in. As you can see, most of these triggered yesterday, late day, and gave a nice continuation run today. And this is how you use our STS pivot system to build you a watch list from day to day that'll be far ahead of our other bull zone and bear zone breaks. They're running on regular charts. They're running off of looking for consolidations, and they're looking for it on a daily and a weekly run. This doesn't care if it's daily, weekly, or even monthly. It cares about the ATR and the price action. The bigger the ATR, the bigger the factor you want to use in setting up your long trades. See, like this is going long here on the 50 for an interim trade, but it's still by far not a swing trade. It hasn't broke the big deal yet on the AET. AET went short way back here on $186 on the morning of February the 1st. It's never been anything but a short since then. 186 down to 168. That's almost an $18 move over a 2-month period of time. Now it's just now coming up here to touch this. We got this finally breakout. This is many days down of this last turn down. It's been chopping sideways for 5 or 6 days. I had this on alert yesterday. Gave a pretty good run. Now what it's doing here is pulling back, so it can bounce and head back up if the market will allow it to. But what we expect here is when this breaks above, we do not have a long watch on this stock yet. So that means it's a minimum of $3 from turning this green. Because we run a 2x and 1x alert system. There's no 2x on here. So it's 3x minimum away, maybe 4. So if this runs up a couple of bucks, 250, it may pull back and then intersect this line and give a reasonable setup for the retracement and to go back up and turn it green at that time. If the market don't allow it, it may just honor this line just like they do, as we showed many times. They go up, touch the line, reject, up, touch the line, reject. And we teach when you hit the line and you don't have a 2x box, you got a higher probability of success if it rejects it. So here's one for tomorrow. If this drops $2 off of here, here's your alert. Red zone retracement, 170.41, be a $2 pullback right here, would signal this to go further back down. Now, it may come down and intersect this line and hold and not even make that alert. It may just continue on up. With the market like it is though, if I've got this coming down, I want to tie my next factor back going short as well. And for sure, this 25 is already in the short zone right here. It just triggered at the end of the day at 170.98. If we ran up, I want this back in my favor before I get in a trade, but this is already set up to the short side intermediate. You know, if it weren't for the market pulling back after hours, I'd be looking for this slight pullback to here and then catch this for a bounce. This will retrace, and when it retraces and intersects with this red line, what's going to happen? Are we going to go up from here, or are we going to reject and go further down? And playing this, we may reject and go further down. So there's your watch stock for tomorrow. Of course, the market has a lot to do with it. It's definitely in play right here, AET. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned daily for more. This video is being brought to you by STS Pivot System Charting Package for day traders, swing traders, and option traders. Easy to follow charts and scanners, trigger prices right on the charts, on the setups. We teach 2 trades long and 2 trades short. That's all. It's that simple. Just like you see on this chart, the trigger price for this trade was in the corner over here from this point on, with this price posted, not to take it up here, and it did not trigger, but it wasn't posted as a trigger anyway. Came back. This is a classic, beautiful setup. Breaks right here. 167.26 was our trigger price. And we develop these same lines where you can overlay them on your shorter term charts. This is a 2-minute. By not taking that trade early when it went up here to 167.11, you avoided this 30-something minute pause here. It's not quite 30, about 15 minutes. This was a 60-something cent pullback by waiting on our trigger price to get in the trade here. And we were predicting that trigger price. This didn't go green until this happened. You have that up arrow where we're showing the price to go long at, and as soon as it triggers, it immediately gives a go short because it's so close to flipping back over. So that's exactly where it occurred, was right here. And that is how simple that package is to use. Trigger prices right on your charts. Got a 7-day free trial offer, 10-day money back guarantee. Once you get this set up, it's $69 a month. And we're extending as a courtesy, if you take this package, full access to the website, including the trade room if you want to come in and out of there as well. It's not part of the charting package, but it's an offer we're letting you come in if you want to. And I mentioned this in a video about a week ago that we were going to do this. Any previous member to Day Trader Setups from day one ever paid $1 to us, this $69 fee is waived. You can come in and try the 7-day trial, no outlay of cash whatsoever. If you decide you want to go with this package, then you can sign up.